Hi, my name is Carmen, and I am an early childhood special education teacher, a life and ADHD coach, and I'm the host of this podcast, Authentically ADHD. I created this podcast to help anyone wondering if they have ADHD, people who have been diagnosed for a while and want some more support and community. I'm here to bring you the latest research on ADHD and neurodiversities while we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of ADHD. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, my friend, and thank you for pressing play on this podcast. I know you have so many choices, and I thank you for choosing mine, especially with today's topic. Is connection hard for you? Do you feel disconnected and misunderstood around others? If the answer is yes, I relate. I am currently writing at the library due to being at home for the summer. It gave me a little bit of writer's block, I'm going to be honest. This isn't my library, even. It's the one I tutor at. I feel kind of out of place, but it did help me get out of my writer's block. So let's talk about ADHD and connection, why it's important, why it's hard, and some tips to get started on some vitamin C, or vitamin connection, according to Dr. Ed Hallowell. Actually, the King researcher himself said that connection is one of the biggest predictors of a successful life, especially for ADHDers. Honestly, connection is a basic human need. We all need connection. We all need to give ourselves connection, and we all need connection from the outside world. I mean, if you think about it, opposite of connection is isolation, which just breeds depression. And honestly, from experience, isolation and depression don't go well together, and it's a big black hole of scary. But the truth is, we fear connection because we've been burned before, and our brain, it's trying to protect us. Fear, shame, and believing we can't blocks connection. So the first step is to be kind of self-aware and be brave. Don't let rejection sensitivity hold you back from living a wonderful life. Whoa, I can't edit that out. I'm so sorry for your ears. I'm going to move this so that doesn't happen again. Okay, so why is connection so hard for the ADHDer? Besides our fear of it, we have a hard time making and sustaining long-term relationships. Some of it has to do with our different brain structure and our risk of childhood trauma or CPTSD. ADHD brains have smaller inactive anterior cingulate cortexes. It's a part of the brain that's located in the frontal lobe, and it's also connected to the limbic system, which plays a big role in the emotional regulation portion. The anterior cingulate cortex also deals with cognition, motivation, and interpreting pain, physical and mental pain. Now, when I read this study and I chewed on it for a minute, I was like, hold up. If this part of our brain interprets pain and emotional regulation, and it's physical and mental pain, I think that's kind of where rejection sensitivity, plus all the rejection in childhood, it kind of breeds there. That's like, wow, like it was a very good, like an aha moment for me, and I hope it was for you too. So then there's the whole mess of the executive functions, making it harder to maintain connection in relationships. We mask to appear neurotypical while feeling othered and misunderstood. We display forgetful behaviors that may be considered offensive to others, like forgetting names, birthdays, and or anniversaries. We either overshare or we have a really hard time articulating what we want to say. We run late and overbook, leading to canceling and being labeled as flaky or chaotic. And our symptoms feel like eventually like they're being held against us, and it appears that we don't care. And these misconceptions often worsen the stigma around ADHD, especially when friendships end because of things like this. And all of this together creates rejection sensitivity in the ADHDer. We can even forget about people that we haven't seen in a while. And it doesn't help when you can tell because someone starts treating you differently after you've told them about your diagnosis. There are certain ways to tell, but finding someone to connect with also basically requires you to also find someone who knows about or is willing to learn about ADHD. I say this because the more that other person understands about ADHD, the forgetful nature, the cognitive inflexibility, the emotional dysregulation, impulsivity, and so on, the more empathetic and understanding they will be, in turn making you not feel like the problem. And it gives them a chance to help. Sometimes, and this is hard to say and it's going to be even harder to hear, but some of you need new people. Yes, I said it. Some of you need some new people. People who are willing to learn and understand your neurodivergence, your special brain, and not shame you for it, because that's not fair. That is not a mutual relationship. It's not safe. And so one of the ways that you can explore this is online. Now, online communities are great. They have tons of benefits, but they are also have huge downfalls. Some of the benefits may include helping you with your perception of your diagnosis and making it a little bit more positive, and even sometimes finding some humor in it. I mean, come on, we all have the memes we laugh at. You'll find like-minded people who understand you and your brain, giving you a sense of belonging. And these communities can also offer a host of skills and tips and ways to help you improve your quality of life. And sometimes you can even make lifelong friends on these platforms. But it's here that I'll share some of the downfalls. You need to be careful with the friends that you may make on these platforms. Do not overshare too quickly and protect your emotions. Make sure the person is safe, okay? Also, sometimes there's some oversimplification of information and even misinformation that we want to make sure we're fact checking. So you're scrolling along and you see a reel, you see a post. Fact check these things. Just type some of it into Google and make sure that the person actually knows what they're talking about. Sometimes we can even misinterpret what someone else is actually trying to say. We have a hard time with digital communication because of forgetting to check notifications and interpreting tone in text. We can also get a little bit stuck down a rabbit holes of information, video series, constant searching of a topic, and or spending hours researching that one thing that we learned about instead of getting our proposal done for the next day's meeting. These things are downfalls, along with feeling overwhelmed by content, the amount of platforms, and using social media really longer than we want to. It's a distraction. Sometimes it makes people not feel like they are like fit in. And then there's also the additional risk for online bullying. So, like anything, the online communities are great, but they can have downfalls. I personally love the focused community, but it's not a luxury we can all afford. Hey ADHDer, are you looking for more support with your brain? Do you crave community with people who understand you? You should really check out Focused, the group coaching program I'm a part of that is for adults with ADHD. It's made and run by none other than Kristen Carter of the I Have ADHD podcast. I've grown so much by being in this program, using the tools, and being in the community for over a year now. If you use the link in my show notes, we both save money on this or next month's cost. So I think it's worth it. Go check it out at ihaveadhd.com/focused. Now that we've talked about the importance of connection, why we struggle, and the painful reality that maybe you need some new people, let's go into some tips to get you started in building some safe connections that you'll be able to hopefully maintain. I got most of these tips from the book ADHD 2.0 by Dr. Ed Hallowell and John J. Rady, but a few of my own are included in there. So, how can we start to build connection? Meaningful, authentic connection. Well, we start off with you. Do you feel connected to yourself? What do you like? What are your values, your passions? Do you know your limits and how to create boundaries? These are all great identity building questions to go through before venturing out to connect. The tips that follow can be done in all different ways, so make them your own. Take what you can use and leave the rest like usual. Make it a point to eat with someone you love a few nights a week. Take daily gratitude inventory. I can definitely attest to taking daily gratitude inventory. It definitely makes me feel more connected to me, my life, and the people around me. Walk into your favorite coffee shop and say hi to people that you look at. Smile and tell them to have a great day. You can also do this when you go into gas stations and other public places that you tend to go to. Just choose to go inside instead of using the drive-through or the pay at the pump service. Get comfortable giving and receiving compliments. Reserve at least half an hour of one-on-one time with your child and or partner about 3 times a week while you spend intentional, connected time together, talking, playing a game, maybe watching a show if you both enjoy it, things like that. Join a group that holds in-person or virtual meetings and or webinars weekly. Use calendars and visual reminders to remember and try to be on time for social events. Get a pet. There are so many things that a dog or a cat or really any living thing can do for your mental health in positive ways. Like, for example, getting a dog will get you to get on more of a routine, get you outside to walk the dog, and things like that. Get outside and connect with nature. Just like love and belonging, nature is also healing. For me, I specifically love to be around water. Engage in a type of spiritual practice that aligns with your beliefs. Never worry alone. Call a friend. Make a list of people to call when you're feeling like you need to talk to somebody. And if none of them answer, then call the emotional support hotline. Text. Text the emotional support hotline. So you're going to text in all capital letters, L as in love, E as in eat, and V as in Victor, all capital letters to 741 741. And they can give you some emotional support on that hotline. And it's not like a suicide hotline or anything like that. So they don't think your life is in danger or nothing like that. So it's a really good hotline. I've used it before when I've been panicked and nobody of my list was available and nobody was answering. Prepare some conversation starters for when you go to social events and things like that. Join a group that has to do with a hobby that you share, such as crocheting, playing chess, a book club, something like that. Or a sport. There are so many sport things I didn't even know about, even for adults. Seriously, search around. Get out there and have fun. The most important part about this is that you're going to have to be brave. Fear comes along with needing to be brave to get over the fear. Not only is connection necessary, but it feels good when you are in connection with someone. It releases all the happy, happy, joy chemicals in your brain. So I hope I have left you with some ways to better connect to yourself and others and a reason why. That's all for now, my friends. Stay authentic, and we will talk soon. Speaking of extra supports, I just wanted to tell you all that I've updated my Patreon page to include all of the resources that I've really ever made to be held in one place. Just head to my show notes. The VIP members do get a little extra, but you can also purchase like my brand new Ultimate ADHD journal and planner, which I've been using for the past year. That has worked. Nothing is priced over $10, and everything is at least 50 to 100 pages that you can download and print. You can get it binded and sent to you, or you can just read it off your screen and use notebook paper. So if you want or need any type of that kind of extra support, just head to my show notes and click the Patreon link to join. I hope to see you in there.